Have you ever had the feeling that your life didn't start here? Have you ever felt a strange chill when entering a place you've never been, or recognized a face you swore you'd seen before? What if I told you that these sensations are not just coincidences but fragments of a past life? I experienced this firsthand, and when the memories began to come back, the truth was so disturbing that it changed everything I believed. Before I reveal this story, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been through something similar? Had dreams or memories of another life? Do you believe that reincarnation is real? Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt something like this and where you're watching this video from. I want to know where this story will lead. Get ready, because what I'm about to share now may shake the way you see your own existence. The first strange sign. It all began in a seemingly simple, almost insignificant way. One day, while walking down an ordinary street, I felt something that stopped me in my tracks. It was as if that sidewalk, those houses, even the smell of the air was strangely familiar. Déjà vu, I thought. But it wasn't just any déjà vu, it was intense, almost painful. Every detail seemed to scream inside me. You've been here before. Later, in a dream, I saw the same street, the same person passing by. But this time, the colors, the sounds, and even the feeling of the wind were so real that I woke up sweating, with my heart racing, confused. It was as if my body remembered something my mind insisted on forgetting. Every fiber of my being recognized that place, those people, that moment, and at the same time I had no idea why. And it was in that instant that I realized this wasn't just a coincidence. Something inside me was trying to tell me an old story, a memory that didn't belong in this life. From that day on, the signs intensified, and I could no longer ignore them. What I was about to discover would change everything I believed about my own existence. Flashes of memory. It wasn't long before the symptoms morphed into something much more intense. Suddenly, I began having brief visions, disconnected fragments, almost like dreams that invaded my mind even while I was awake. I saw ancient streets, cobblestone sidewalks, carriages passing through places I'd never visited. People dressed in clothes from another era looked at me as if they knew me, but I had no idea who they were. In front of a mirror, I saw a face that was not mine, eyes that carried stories of centuries, expressions of pain, joy, and secrets that I could not understand. Each flash lasted seconds, but left a sense of urgency, as if something was trying to tell me a truth I needed to hear. And the worst part, the more these visions occurred, the more I felt it all had a deeper meaning. Something inside me was connected to these images, these people, these lives that should never have been forgotten. The audience didn't know what to think, and neither did I. Every detail left me more confused, but the certainty began to grow. These weren't just dreams. Someone or something was showing me fragments of a past life. And each flash was accompanied by a silent question that haunted me day and night. Who was I really? The search for answers. After those intense flashes, I could no longer ignore what was happening. Every vision, every strange detail consumed me. I needed to understand. Who had I really been? Why did these memories keep coming back? I began researching everything about reincarnation, accounts of people who, like me, remembered past lives. Stories of children describing places and people they'd never met. Adults reliving experiences from other times. Historical details that coincided with real events. The more I read, the more my own experience made sense, and the more disturbing it became. What if this has happened to you too, but you never realized it? What if behind that strange dream, that inexplicable déjà vu, there was a whole life trying to remember you? My anguish grew with each search, but so did a strange excitement. The feeling that I was about to discover something that few dare to face, something that could change my view of everything we believe to be reality. Each question I asked pushed me closer to the truth, and at the same time increased the fear of what I might discover about myself, the shock of revelation. Then a detail appeared, a name that seemed to come out of nowhere, echoing in my mind with a strange insistence. It wasn't just any name, it was unusual, specific, charged with something I couldn't explain. With each flash, it repeated itself. That place also began to stand out, an ancient city I had never visited, and yet it seemed my body remembered every street, every corner, every smell of that place. My curiosity turned to urgency. I needed to know the truth. I researched, looking for historical records, ancient accounts, anything that could help me understand where those memories came from. And then it happened. I discovered that the name really existed. The person had lived in that city at the exact time my flashes had shown, and had died exactly as I had seen in my mind. Every detail matched perfectly. It was impossible to ignore. The sensation was overwhelming. Everything I had felt until then was no coincidence, no imagination. I had lived that life, and the shock was not just in the discovery itself, but in the intensity of the certainty. Those memories were mine, but from another life. It was disturbing, fascinating, and terrifying all at once. I didn't just remember. I had been reincarnated, and that past life still carried powerful echoes within me. The disturbing story. When I finally began to piece together my memories, the truth revealed itself in a terrifying way. In that past life, I wasn't ordinary, but neither was I famous or a hero. I was someone involved in a plot no one could have imagined. I was a young man living in an ancient city, surrounded by conflict and mystery. The streets I now remembered were not just ordinary paths. They were silent witnesses to dark events. I saw people I knew, felt emotions I had never experienced in this life, and carried responsibilities and decisions that cost me dearly. The most disturbing thing? My fate. I knew I would die young, tragically, under circumstances that seemed cruel and inevitable. Every flash that came back to me brought back the fear, pain, and injustice of that past. It was as if my soul had recorded every detail, and now, remembering it, I was reliving it all over again. But that wasn't all. Some memories revealed choices I'd made, decisions that affected other lives, bringing consequences I never imagined in this one. Each memory brought chills because it made me question, to what extent is our present shaped by who we were? The contrast was insane. I'm an ordinary person today, but in that life, I was part of something dark, a story marked by tragedy, mystery, and secrets that still resonate within me. And the more I remembered, the more I felt that my current life carried remnants of that history, signs I was only now beginning to understand. The parallel with children's stories. As I tried to process these disturbing memories, I realized my experience wasn't unique. There are incredible accounts of children who, without any explanation, remembered lives they never lived in this lifetime. One story in particular had a profound impact on me. A mother told me that her son, at age 3, began talking about places he'd never been. He described streets, houses, and even interior details with impressive richness, as if he'd actually lived there. But the scariest part came later. One day, he recounted, with clarity and emotion, how he had died. His suspicious mother decided to investigate and discovered that everything her son had described corresponded exactly to the life of a man who had died decades earlier, in the same city and under the same circumstances as the child had described. These accounts reinforce something I've begun to understand. Past life memories can manifest in ways that defy logical explanation, and if these memories exist in children who haven't yet been shaped by current life beliefs or experiences, what about the memories that emerge in us adults? This story made me realize I wasn't alone, and that what I'd remembered wasn't just a figment of my imagination. It was something much bigger, something real, disturbing, and deeply mysterious. The impact on the present. After understanding the extent of these memories and realizing that I had truly lived another life, everything around me began to change. Things that once seemed ordinary began to carry hidden meanings. People, places, even everyday decisions began to evoke feelings I couldn't explain. It was as if part of that past life was present within me, influencing my thoughts, my choices, and even my fears. Every flash, every memory, left an invisible mark that profoundly affected my perception of the world. And that made me think, and I want you to think too, what if our memories don't die with the body? What if each of us is carrying the scars of lives we've already lived, shaping who we are today without us even realizing it? What if the signs, the déjà vus, the vivid dreams, are our own soul's attempts to remind us of who we really are? This revelation changed everything about me. It made my existence more complex, more mysterious, and in a way more intense. The feeling of carrying echoes from another life is unsettling, but also incredible because it connects us to something much greater, something that defies time, logic, and even death itself. The mystery that continues. Even after revisiting every memory, researching, reflecting, and trying to understand everything, the sense of mystery never faded. Something remains hidden, something we may never be able to fully explain. Today, when I pass in front of a mirror, I still feel two eyes staring back at me, my own, and that of the person I once was. There are times when I feel like my current choices are influenced by decisions I made in another era, in another body, in another time. And then arises the question that haunts me every day, and that I want you to ask yourself too. To what extent do we truly know ourselves? How many lives have we carried silently within us, shaping who we are without us realizing it? What do you feel now listening to this? Are these echoes of the past trying to warn us, guide us, or simply remind us that life is much bigger than we imagine? The mystery continues. And perhaps one day you too will discover that you are not just living this life, but that you carry fragments of many others, waiting to be remembered. As I revisited these memories, understood the flashes, and connected each detail to my past life, I realized something profound. Our lives can be much more complex than we imagine. Every decision, every fear, every feeling can carry echoes of who we once were. And the truth is disturbing, fascinating, and transformative. Maybe no one really starts from scratch. Maybe we're always carrying fragments of the past, influencing our choices, our emotions, and even our destiny. When I look in the mirror today, I see not only who I am now, but also echoes of who I was. And this changes everything we think about life, death, and purpose. And now I want to know from you, have you ever felt something similar? Have you ever had dreams or memories that seem like they're from another life? Write in the comments your experience and where you are watching this video from. If you believe that our memories can transcend time, share this video with someone who needs to reflect on this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because there are many more mysteries like this waiting to be revealed.